So we got ourselves a classic today. The Sony PlayStation Classic. This thing brings back memories. This was the first console that I bought for myself. I was 17 at the time when I worked at Blockbuster, and they had these on display, and I bought one of their old ones. Like, they would have it sitting for a very long time, they would eventually replace them, and they would sell the old ones for cheap, like 50 bucks or something like that. I played the hell out of some PlayStation games. This is a special time to be doing this because right now, as of the time of this recording, the PlayStation Classic is available at Best Buy and probably other retailers for $20. That is because of the poor sales that it has been doing, that they are just trying to offload them. So if you were kind of skeptical about getting it, and the whole reason they're lowering it is because it doesn't have a lot of titles that people want to play, or the titles are already available on other platforms. So what I aim to do is to show you how to add games to this from your collection that you don't necessarily want to break out your old PlayStation, but you want to play the games. Now, I actually have an alternate reason for doing this. For those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, you may have seen that I had streamed some Resident Evil 2. I had a very hard time with it because the resolution that the original PlayStation puts out is actually quite low. The resolution that the PlayStation puts out is actually this much, which is lower than most modern capture cards can handle, so I actually had to trick it. And what I did was I ran through one capture card and into another, so the pass-through comes out, I'm not sure why it works the way it does, but the pass-through comes out as 1080p, so the other one can capture that signal, but for some reason it cannot capture at the lower graphics settings. Now, what this eliminates is the need for that. I can just run this through HDMI just into a regular capture card. So that is the main reason why I'm doing this. But you may have other reasons for doing it. Let's say your old PlayStation doesn't work anymore, but you still have the discs, or you just don't have the stuff to connect it to modern television. This, being able to add your old classic games, enables you to connect to basically any modern television. The output of the system is 720p, which isn't the highest, but it is high enough that most modern televisions will handle it. So you will be able to play all of your favorite classic games. You want to break out an original copy of Spyro, you can play it on this. So I'm going to show you just how to do that. So enough backstory, let's get right into it. Now, in order to do this, you're going to need a few things. Of course, you're going to need the PlayStation Classic, a game, flash drive, an external disk drive, and then a PC to connect all of these things to and do the mod. Okay, the first thing that we are going to want to get, we are going to go to imgburn.com, and this is the site Image Burn. And I'm going to be using version 2.5.8.0. So if you use a separate version, you can't really say that your experience is going to be exactly the same. It probably will be, but if you use the version that I just listed, then you should be able to do it exactly as I've done. And I'm gonna go for the link provided by imgburn, and it is an executable. Okay, image burn setup, go to next, accept, next. I'm going to leave that as is. I think it might put an icon on the desktop, that's fine. Standard boilerplate installer business, and oh, this is where you gotta be careful, because right now it is saying recommended for your computer. Yahoo powered search will be configured on the Internet Explorer and Firefox browsers. The installation includes Chromium browser, applicable updates, and search manager. Yeah, they're being sneaky about this, because this is a secondary thing that you don't actually need. Oh, there it is, okay. So you click on that, and you unclick those things, so you don't install some shit you don't need. Now, obviously, IMG Burn probably gets a cut for having that stuff installed. I would recommend just going to their PayPal and donating instead of giving in to their solicitations. Okay, now we are installing IMGBURN. Would you like to periodically check for a new version? Sure. Thank you for installing ImageBurn. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and open up the IMGBurn software. And we shall open up our disk drive. Now, I have not done a 2-disk system, so I'm not sure if the process is exactly the same, but I'm gonna go as if it is. I'm just going to install the Leon disk. Okay, and we are going to create an image file from disk. Okay, I'm gonna set our destination folder just to the desktop, make it easier. And then you click on the button, and now it will extract the files. So we'll give that a second to do that. Okay, it is finished pulling the file. Now, let us see. We got a bin. We got a queue. Okay, so that's what you want to end up with. Is you want to end up with a bin and a queue file. I'm going to go ahead and do the second disk as well, and I'll just go ahead and skip past this. So the getting the game files portion is complete. And go ahead and pop out game disks. So you don't need them anymore. We'll put them back on the shelf. So the next portion of this is setting up the console. So first portion of that is we're going to take our flash drive, and I actually happen to have an extension here so I don't have to lean over to my computer. I'm gonna plug this thing in. I believe it's already formatted, but we're gonna go ahead and do a quick format just in case. FAT32 system. This is an important part, is actually that the drive needs to be named Sony, because I believe it has something to do with the system that it only recognizes it if it is called Sony. So the next portion of this is we are going to be downloading Bleemsync. So we're gonna go down here and we're going to be installing Bleemsync 1.1.0. So once again, as with the previous software, if you have a different version, your results may vary. Shouldn't, but there is the possibility. So this is going to be the software in which I am using. So now that the file's downloaded, we just want to extract it. We just do extract files, and then we select the Sony drive and hit OK. And now it is extracting directly into the flash drive that I had just formatted. Now, much like the SNES Classic, there are multiple ways to do this. There are multiple softwares that are available to add games to the system. This just happens to be the one that I chose. There's nothing really that makes this like a super standout. This one just happens to be the one that I went with. I'm just gonna verify that the files are on there. Okay, extracted files are in the Sony labeled flash drive. Now that that is done, I'm going to safely remove the drive from the system. This one very much needs to be done in the order specified. I haven't had the time to go into the minutia of like what it is that makes it so, only that I know that there could be potential issues if you do this out of order. So do keep that in mind. So you have USB 1 and USB 2, you want it in this one. So we install correctly the USB plug. So you plug it in, wait for the orange light to come up. Once the orange light is up, press the power button and it should cycle through colors. Oh, it's turning red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. Let it go for a minute. Oh, it's locked on orange, as you can see. Okay, so now that that is the thing, I'm going to remove the power and plug in the USB cable into your PC, then plug it into the console, like so. Okay, light is orange. Turn on console as normal. We got it the green light. Wait for 20 seconds. And then we go to bleemsyncui.com. So let's go to edit a new game. Choose files, we'll go to our desktop, and we have these files here. Should be bin and q files, .bin and .cue. Pull it in, and there we have it, the Resident Evil 2 games. 4 files, 1 game. So it acknowledges that it's a 2-disc game system. So we hit the add game, and once again, a process that will take a little bit. Okay, so it appears the game is installed. Next step is to power down, unplug it. So now we plug it into a standard power source, plug it into some HDMI business, need the controller plugged in too. So now we're gonna go ahead and fire it up. PlayStation Sony Interactive logo. You might recognize it from our title screen. Actually, not this title screen, but from our Let's Play title screens. Bleemsync, my mod classic. Okay, so this is a... Ooh. Not sure what RetroArch is. We may get into that at a later time, but for now, focusing on the Bleemsync. But first, some important health and safety warnings. Okay, so this is the splash screen that you all know and love, but it is altered a little bit because it is now the Bleemsync business. Let me see here, what do we got? Resident Evil 2. And what is this? RetroArch? I'm guessing this is that other bonus material. Like I said, we'll revisit that at a later time. But, oh, love that splash screen. Go ahead and play a little bit of the Resident Evil 2. I'm just going to skip past the cutscenes. For right now, I'm just trying to get proof of concept. So, oh yeah. Oh. What's the run button? There's the run button, and oh. Forgot about them tank controls. That's probably the end of me right there. Nope? Okay. So, the setup is complete. We have ourselves an updated game console. We're gonna go ahead and I think it's the reset button. Yeah, okay. So we have save states, we have memory cards, we have guides. Oh, I see. So there's some sort of guide system. Well, there you have it. We have added a game into the PlayStation Classic. So if the PlayStation Classic was something that you thought would be cool, but you didn't see any games that you liked on there, but you have a copy of an old game that you would like to be able to play because for one reason or another you're unable to on the original PlayStation, you now have an option. It's only $20 at the local Best Buy. At least at the time of this recording, it may have changed, may have gotten cheaper, or may have gotten sold out. Who's to say? But should the opportunity be available, you have that as an option. If you would like to play some of your old classic games, I think the next one I'm gonna add to this is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, because nothing beats the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I do appreciate you guys all tuning in and checking this out, and if you are digging these little forays into hardware modification, cracking open, software manipulation, and all that jazz, do hit the subscribe button and maybe even hit the bell so you can get notified of all the latest in hardware videos. Not to mention the fact that we do Let's Plays and walkthroughs on this channel as well, with some pretty interesting and fun people. So if you're into that kind of thing, we also feature that as well. And who knows, there may be some other future types of content that we will release. This is kind of a variety channel, so whatever your flavor, if you like just this type or if you like all of them, we got something for you. So stick around, and we should have more for you very soon. And until then, I'll see you guys later.